If username equal to NIT, then only it will verify password. See here, if NIT, suppose I enter NIT, is it NIT? Is it NIT equal to NIT or not? Yes. Then assume that I enter the password as NIT 123. Is it NIT 123 is double equal to NIT 123? Yes. Okay, then immediately I'm saying print. Okay, print what is it? Welcome. Okay, print welcome. Suppose username is given NIT, but password is given what here? XYZ. Is it NIT double equal to NIT? Yes. But is it XYZ equal to NIT 123? Is it XYZ is equal to NIT 123? No. This condition is true or false? False. Then which one is invalid here? Password. I'm saying invalid. Invalid which one? Password. Means here I'm checking individually username and password. Suppose assume that if I enter username as ABC, is it ABC equal to NIT? No. So this if followed by, okay, first if followed by which one? Else. And this if followed by else. And this if followed by which one here? Else. And here I'm writing invalid, invalid what? User name. So if first condition is passed, then only you're checking what? Second condition. If both the conditions are passed, I'm saying welcome. If the first one is a true and second one is a false, I'm saying this password is invalid. Okay, otherwise I'm saying invalid user name. So nested means within, and you are checking individual conditions. In this case, you are trying to verify individual conditions. Now username is NIT, password is NIT123. What is the message here? Welcome. I'll try to input username is NIT, password is XYZ. Which one is invalid here? Password is invalid. If I try to run, username is ABC and password is XYZ. First, it will verify the username. If the username is valid, then only it will check which one password. Is it username is valid or invalid? Invalid. Then will it verify the password? No. So there is a message invalid username. Invalid username, right? So the username is not valid. So nested. Now these logics are used. Okay, these logics are used in application development. So let me tell you one more example on this username and password. So yeah, let me tell you one more example on this. Nested. Nested means, for example, suppose I'm developing one banking application. For example, I'm developing one banking application where I try to input some details like account number. I'm trying to input what year account number. I'm trying to input the details like what year account number, and I try to input some opening balance. So float of input what is that balance. So what is the balance available in my account? So I try to input account number. I try to input what year balance, and after that I'm trying to input transaction type. Transaction type input what is that transaction type. So here transaction type D is for deposit and W is for withdraw. D means deposit and W means what? Withdraw. Suppose if transaction type is deposit, okay, you'll try to ask for transaction amount. How much amount to be deposit or withdraw? So transaction, what is this here? Amount. How much amount you want to deposit or withdraw? If the transaction type equal to deposit, if the transaction type equal to which one? Deposit, then you can directly say opening balance equal to the balance. Rather than opening balance, I'm saying balance equal to balance plus transaction amount. If the transaction type is deposit, if the transaction type is deposit, you're saying balance equal to balance plus what? Transaction amount. Okay, else if a transaction type equal to withdraw. Okay, if the transaction type is what here? Withdraw. Immediately you're checking, is it transaction amount is less than what? Balance. So the amount what you're withdrawing, is it less than balance? Then you allow us to withdraw it by saying balance minus transaction amount. Otherwise, you are saying print insufficient what here? Balance. Okay, if the transaction type is withdraw, then immediately you're checking, is it amount what you're withdrawing is less than balance. The amount what you're withdrawing is less than balance. You're saying balance equal to balance minus transaction amount. Suppose if the transaction amount is not less than balance, you're trying to display one message saying that insufficient balance. Insufficient balance. Suppose if the transaction type is not withdraw, deposit, then I'm saying I'm displaying the message saying that invalid transaction type. So transaction type should be entered either D is for deposit and W is for what? Withdraw. After that, I'm trying to display the details of customer. Now format, what I'm displaying here, account number. I'm displaying the account number. So \n. I'm trying to display which one? Balance. Okay. So balance is, I try to display balance colon dot 2f. Means how many decimal places? Two decimal places. I try to display two things. One is balance and one more is account number. I try to display two values. One is account number and second one is a balance. So here you are asking input account number. You need to input the account number. So what is account number? 101. And I try to input some balance here. Some 9,000 is a balance. And if I'm writing D is for what? Deposit. I want to deposit some thousand. What is the value of transaction type D? Is it D equal to D or not? Yes. So the amount is added to what here? Balance. The amount is added to the balance. Now you can see what is the total balance is 10,000. Okay, because yes. Now I try to execute again. Enter account number 102. Okay, the balance is some 8,000 and enter transaction type. What is the transaction type? W. W is for withdraw. Now it will check, is it W equal to D here? No, it will come to else. Is it W equal to W? Yes. And is it it amount? Amount is what here? Suppose I want to withdraw 3,000. Is it 3,000 is less than 8,000? Yes. Then 8,000 minus 3,000, what is the balance? 5,000. Okay. Now 5,000. Account number 1 or 2, balance is what here? 5,000. It means based on one condition, immediately you're checking what? Another condition. If the transaction type is withdraw and if the balance is available, withdraw it. If the transaction type is withdraw, if the balance is not available, you're displaying the message saying that insufficient balance. Now, what is the account number? Some 1 or 2 and balance is, assume that balance is some 9,000. I want to withdraw, but I want to withdraw 10,000. Is it W equal to W? Yes. Then 10,000 is less than 9,000? No. Then I'll get insufficient balance. So that is nothing but balance is not available in account number 1 or 2, and balance available is 9,000. If I try to execute again, now 1 or 2, and assume that this is the balance and transaction type is some X. I've given transaction type is X. Is it X transaction type is available or not available? Not available. Then immediately it is given one message saying that invalid transaction type, because you have to enter the transaction type as a deposit or what, withdraw. So is it X equal to D? No. Is it X equal to W? No. Then it will come to else and print a message. What is the message? Invalid transaction type. So multiple conditions. Here what you are trying to do, you are trying to check multiple conditions. If first condition fail, you are checking second condition. If second condition is a true, inside that you are writing one more condition. So if followed by another if. If followed by another if, that you can call it as which one? Nested if. Nested if. Nested if. Just try to understand how you are writing this nested if. Nested means within. So just remember, nested means what here? Within. Within. Nested means within here. This is the output of the code. But I try to test this by giving different inputs. I try to test this code by giving different inputs. Now you have to check all possible things. Okay. You have to execute the program by entering all the possible things, right? Suppose assume that now if you see one more example, I want to write a program, suppose write a program to find the max of three numbers. Write a program to find max of three numbers without using AND operator or OR operator. I want to find the max of three numbers without using AND operator or OR operator. I should not use AND operator or OR operator. How can I find the max of three numbers? I have to input three numbers first. Number 1, comma, number 2, comma, number 3 equal to map of integer, comma, input dot split. So I try to input all the values in one line. I try to input all the values in one line. So enter how many numbers? Three numbers. Okay, enter three numbers. So map integer, comma, input, enter three numbers. Now here I'm trying to check the condition if number 1 is greater than number 2. First what I'm doing, if number 1 is greater than number 2, if number 1 is greater than number 2, if number 1 is greater than number 2, so immediately if number 1 is greater than number 2, immediately you are writing one more condition. If number 1 is greater than number 2, immediately you are writing one more condition saying that is it number 1 is greater than number 3. So here, if number 1 is greater than number 2, if this condition is passed, immediately you are checking one more condition saying that is it number 1 is greater than number 3. Then which one is a maximum? Number 1 is a maximum. I'm saying number 1 is what here? Maximum. I'm saying number 1 is a maximum. Suppose number 1 is greater than number 2. Number 1 is greater than number 2, but number 1 is not greater than number 3. Then else you have to say which one is maximum? Number 3 is a maximum. Number 3 is maximum. Number 1 is greater than number 2, but number 1 is not greater than number 3. Then which one is maximum? Number 3. Else if number 2 is greater than what? Number 3. Then which one is the maximum? Number 2 is maximum. Number 2 is maximum. Otherwise, I'm saying which one is maximum? Number 3 is maximum. Number 3 is maximum. See here. I have not used any AND operator. Okay, actually, if you want to write, you can write like this. What is that? Using AND operator. Number 1 is greater than number 2 and number 1 is greater than what? Number 3. If number 1 is greater than number 2 and number 1 is greater than number 3, which one is a maximum? Number 1 is a maximum. But in the place of under, this under I separated in another condition. If number 1 is greater than number 2 and number 1 is greater than number 3, then I said number 1 is a maximum. Suppose if number 1 is greater than number 2, but number 1 is not greater than number 3, which one is a maximum? Number 3 is maximum. If number 1 is not greater than number 2, but number 2 is greater than number 3, then which one is maximum? Number 2 is maximum. If this both the conditions fails, which one is maximum? Number 3 is maximum. Number 3 is a maximum, right? Just to see here. So once you run this, input number 1, some 40. Oh, I have to enter all these values in one line, 40, 20 and 10. Now which one is maximum? 40 is a maximum. I try to enter 20, 50 and 20, 50 and 30. Which one is maximum? 50 is a maximum. If I try to enter 10, 20, 30, which one is a maximum? 30 is a maximum. But are you use any operation like AND here? No. So nested means you're trying to write if inside the if. If inside the if is called as which one? Nested if. Nested if. So if we insert the if, so that you can call it as a nested if. Nested if. You have to practice. You have to practice the programs. I said, I provided one link also for practicing the programs. I don't know how many of you have practiced, but I said, just try to do programs. Until unless you don't practice, you cannot understand the things. Okay, you have to practice, you have to write the programs. You have to practice and you have to write the programs. Then only you can understand, otherwise you cannot understand. Okay, now this is how you work with the conditional statement. So as a part of Python, there is only one conditional statement. As a part of Python, there is only one conditional statement is there. And what is that conditional statement is if. But now Python doesn't have any switch statement. Switch statement is not there. In Python, there is no switch statement. In Python, there is no switch statement. There is only if statement. Like if you are working with C, C++, and Java, you find switch statement. But here, you don't have switch statement. You have only one conditional statement called if. But there is no switch statement, but there is equivalent switch statement provided by Python. There is no switch statement, but there is equivalent switch statement provided by what? Python. And that function, actually you can call that function as, you can call it as which one? Match. Okay, match case is there. Match case. This is introduced in Python 3.10, I suppose. This is introduced in Python 3.10. There is a match case statement. Match case. This is a 3. This statement is introduced in the version 3.10. Now, if your system is having 3.10, you can use this. Now, these keywords, the match and case keywords are soft keywords. These are called as soft keywords. Some identifiers are only reserved under specific context. These are known as a soft keywords. The identifiers match case and underscore can syntactically access a keyword in context related to the pattern matching statements. But this distinction is done at the parser level, not when tokenization. So this is equivalent to which one? It is a keyword. Actually, match match case is a keyword, but you cannot see as a part of keywords list. You'll not see as a part of which one? Keywords list. In keywords list, will you find any? In keywords list, will you find any keyword like match and case? No, you don't find any keyword like match and case. Okay, but it treated as which one? Keywords. It treated as keywords, but actually these are identifiers only. But according to the Python, they said that okay, these are the keywords and don't use this as what? Identifiers. Now such keywords you call it as which one? Soft keywords. Such keywords are called as which one? Soft keywords. Okay. Now this is structural pattern matching, which is introduced in Python 3.10. Structural matching pattern. Okay, structural matching pattern. This is introduced in Python 3.10. So this is nothing but match case. So match case is equivalent to what? Switch case. Switch case in C language, switch case in C++, and switch case in what? Java language. Okay. This statement. Okay, these statements are introduced. The statements are introduced in Python 3.10 version. Python 3.10 version. Okay. This is this statement. The statements are used for structural. The statements are used for structural pattern matching. The statements are used for structural pattern matching. These two statements. Okay, these two statements are called soft keywords. These two statements are called soft keywords. According to the Python naming convention, according to Python, so these words are reserved. These words are reserved. These words are reserved as keywords. These words are reserved as a keywords. According to Python, these words are reserved as a keywords. This cannot be used. This cannot be used as an identifiers. Cannot be used as a identifiers. But you don't find these words in the part of which one? Keywords. Okay, but Python says that okay, don't use this. Python says that okay, don't use this as a identifiers. Now such words you call it as which one? Soft keywords. What is a soft keywords means? This is a definition of this. What is a soft keywords? This is a definition of it. What is a soft keywords is? Now some identifiers are only reserved under specific context. These are known as soft keywords. The identifiers match case and underscore can syntactically act as a keywords in context related to the pattern matching statement. But this distinction is done at the parser level, not when it is tokenizing. Okay, now you can see soft keywords definition is this. Some identifiers are only reserved under specific context. Some identifiers are reserved under specific context, and these are known as a soft keywords. Okay, these are known as a soft keywords. The identifiers match, case, and underscore can syntactically act as a keywords in context related to the pattern matching statement. But this distinction is done at the parser level, not when tokenizing. At parser level, but not when tokenizing. Not when tokenizing. So this is a match case. Now match case is equivalent to, okay, match case is equal to switch case. Okay, switch case in C, C++ and Java programming languages. C, C++ and Java programming languages. So match case is equal to switch case in C, C++ and Java programming languages. So, but what is the need of this particular statement is, this statement allows to execute. The statement allows to execute block of statements, based on equality of values. If you want to execute a block of statements based on in order to execute, the statement allows executing block of statements based on equality of values. Okay, equality of values. So that you can call it as match case. Now, what is the syntax of match case is, you are trying to write like this. There is a match. It followed by there is a match. It followed by match followed by. You can write expression. Okay, match. It followed by. You can write what here? Expression. So match followed by expression. You're writing match, it followed by expression, match followed by expression, then it followed by case, match followed by expression, and it followed by case. Now case, it followed by either one value or more than one value. One value or more than one value. If it is more than one value, you write inside. If it is more than one value, you write inside parenthesis. The statement one. After writing statement one, there is another one, case, and again followed by value, and then you write a statement two, and then again case, it followed by value, and you are writing again statement three. If it is not equal to any one of this case, there is a default case which is represented using underscore. The default case is represented using what? Underscore. And here you are writing statement 4. So it will read the value of this expression and it will compare the result of this expression with the first case. If the result of this expression equal to this value, it executes statement 1 and stop. If the result of this expression is equal to this value, it executes statement 2 and stop. The result of this expression is equal to case 3, then execute this and stop. The result of this expression is not equal to this case and this case as well as this case. It will execute which one? Default. What is the default here? Underscore. Means if this result of expression is not equal to any one of these cases, it execute which case? Default case, and the default case is represented by using underscore. The default case is represented using what? Underscore. So match statement read the value of given expression. Match statement read the value of given expression and compare with all all cases. Compare with all cases. Okay, if it is equal to any one of the case, okay, it execute that block. And stop. Okay. If if it is not equal to any case, if it is not equal to any case, if it is not equal to any, if it is not equal to any case, it execute which one? Default case, which is represented, using, what is that? Underscore, which is represented using what? Underscore, which is represented using underscore. So it is only for checking equality. It is only for checking which one? Equality, right? You are reading the value of expression, and if it is equal to any one of this value, it execute that particular statement. For example, just to see the simple example, but this will work only in Python. This will work only in Python 3.10. This will work only in Python 3.10, but doesn't work in any other versions. It will work only in Python 3.10, but doesn't work in any other versions. Remember this. Doesn't work in any other versions. Correct. This will work only in Python 3.10 version, but doesn't work in any other version. Only in Python 3.10 it will work, but not work in any other version. Just try to remember this. Okay, now. Just to see the example here, what I'm doing is, I'm just reading one number. I'm just reading one number. Okay, I'm just reading one number. Input, enter any number. Okay. After reading the number, I'm comparing this number. I'm comparing this number with case 1. Means if the value of number is equal to what? 1. If the value of number equal to 1, I'm displaying which one? 1. If the value of number is a 2, I'm displaying the message. What is that? 2. If the value of number is a 3, I'm displaying the message called which one? 3. I'm trying to check only 3, right? If the input value is 1, then it execute what here? Case 1. If the input value is a 2, then it execute what here? Case 2. If the input value is a 3, is it 3 is equal to 3? Yes, it will execute which one? 3. If it is not equal to any one of this, it will come to underscore. Underscore means other than 1, 2, 3. Other than 1, 2, 3, I'm just writing here invalid number. Invalid number. Invalid number. It is similar to switch case. It is similar to switch case. Enter any number. My number is some 3. Is it 3 is equal to 1? No. Is it 3 is equal to 2? No. Is it 3 is equal to 3? Yes. Then it will execute the case called which one? 3. It will execute the case called which one? 3. I try to execute it. Enter the number 1. Is it number 1? Is it 1 is equal to 1? Yes. It will print which one? 1. I try to execute. No, I just give 10. Is it 10 is equal to 1? No. Is it 10 is equal to 2? No. Is it 10 is equal to? No. Then it will come to which one? Default. What is the default here? Underscore. So it will display the message. What is the message? Invalid number. Now this is similar to switch case. Okay, now this is similar to switch case in which language? C language. It is similar to switch case in C language, right? Similar to switch case in C language. Now this is output here. Okay, right now this is useful when you are working with. This is useful when you are working with like menu driven applications. So where you want to execute certain operations based on some condition, where you want to execute statements based on some condition. If you want to execute it based on some conditions, if you want to execute the things based on some conditions, right? How this is, for example, assume that there is one menu. Okay, this is a menu. So when you are working with COI based applications, now I said one. I said one is for, assume that finding area of which one? Circle. And there is a two, which is finding area of which one? Triangle. And I take only two options. And three is for what here? Exit. Okay, now I try to input the option integer of input, enter your option. Enter your option. Then I'm saying match. Okay, match. What is that here? Option. Match option. If the option is which one? 1. Now I have to find the area of circle. So where I'm saying float of input. Okay, enter what is that? Radius of, enter radius of which one? Circle. Then I'm saying area equal to pi. Now I can take pi value from which library? Math library. So in math, you find one variable called which one? Pi. So math dot pi into r to the power of 2. Okay, r to the power of 2 and format format area of circle. So I'm trying to display area with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. Now case 2, then you have to input two values. One is a base and one more is a height. But I'm trying to input these values in one line. Map, okay, float comma input, enter base comma height, enter base comma height, dot, what is that? Split. Now I try to split into how many values? Two values. Okay. Then area equal to 0.5. Area equal to 0.5 into base into what is that? Height. Then print format area of triangle is, I just displayed area with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. Now case 3, okay, case 3, I'm just displaying one message. Okay, I'm just displaying a message. Okay, happy learning. Okay, I just display the message. Okay, happy learning. This is a message. If it is anything other than this, I'm trying to display invalid option. Okay, invalid option, right? So if you enter other than 1, 2, 3, you'll get the message invalid option. because you have to input how many options? Only one, and that is what? Either 1, 2 or 3. You have to enter only one option, that is 1, 2 or 3. But if you enter any other option, you'll get this message saying that this option is what here? Invalid. This option is a invalid. Now once I run this, first enter your option is 1. So is it 1? Is it 1 is equal to 1? Yes. Then it will execute case 1. Don't think that you have to write in this same order. You can write first 3, second 2 and 1. No problem. Okay. Yes. Any order you can write it. You can write first 2. Is it 1 is equal to 2? No. Then check the second one. Right. Then enter the radius of circle. Some 1.3 or 1.3 pi math dot pi, small pi. So 1.5. Now you can see area of circle is 7.07. Then 2, the option is 2, finding area of triangle. So I try to input this both the values in one line. You're not writing in multiple lines. You have to input in what? One line. And one line, one string, you are trying to split into how many strings? Two strings. One stringer, you are trying to split into how many strings? Two strings. By using which one? Split. You can see area of triangle is 1.88. Okay, now based on the condition, you are trying to execute multiple blocks. But here, you are checking only equality. Suppose if I enter any other option, suppose 3. 3 is what here? Happy learning. If I enter 4, 4 or 5, it is displayed the message called invalid option, right? So based on the given value, you are trying to execute some statements. But this is useful in pattern matching. Okay, this is also useful in pattern matching. When you go for regular expressions, right? You learn more on this match case. You learn more on this match case when you learn, when you work with regular expressions. But this is introduced in Python. Yes, this is introduced in Python what? 3.10. This is introduced in Python 3.10. What are the changes is? One change is introducing which case? Match and introducing which one? Match and case. Match case. This is one change. Some changes are done in Python 3.10. We'll discuss that also, right? Okay. Now you can compare with multiple values. If it is multiple values means how you compare with multiple values is, okay, suppose enter n value, n equal to integer of input. Suppose enter any number, now match, okay, match, I read the value of which one? N. I can write case, within parenthesis. I can compare with multiple values. Multiple values means, for example, 1, okay, 1, 5, okay, and 7, 1, 5, 7. Then I'm trying to say are multiple values. Otherwise, in the place of this, I'm writing enter any course name. Enter course name. Enter course name. Suppose I'm saying course name. If the course name is equal to, if the course name is equal to C or C++, and course name is which one? Oracle, then I'm saying, I'm trying to say the fee. I'm just displaying the fees is, okay, fee. I'm just writing here, the fees is what here? Some 2000. Case, I'm just writing here Java. Okay, Java, and I'm just writing here .NET. Okay, Java .NET. I'm just writing here fee. Fee is something like some 2500. And case, I'm trying to write some Python. Okay, Django. Python Django. I'm just writing some fee. Something like some 4000. Okay, now case. Okay, case, if it is some oracle, if it is my SQL server, SQL server, I'm trying to say some fee is some thousand, right? If it is other than this, I'm writing here, course not available, course not available if I enter any one of this. So here, input value you are comparing with how many values here? Three values. This input value you are comparing with how many values? Three values. If this input value is equal to this, any one of this value, then you'll get the fees as what? 2000. If input value is equal to any one of this value, you'll get the fees as what? 2500. If input value is equal to any one of this value, you'll get the fees as 4000. If input value is equal to any one of one value, now you'll get the fees as what is that? 1000, right? If I run this, multiple values, if you want to compare with multiple values, you are writing within parenthesis as one collection. I'm writing it as a C. Oh, C course is not available. C is available or not available? Available, right? But it's saying not available. Why? Is it available or not available? Yes. This course is available or not available? Available. Available. Oh, this one, some mistake we did. Because what will happen is, so this is actually small mistake we did here. Okay, anyway, no problem. What is the mistake is actually what will happen when you write this is the input value should be equal to all this. I mean, group of means input value should be equivalent to what? All this, all this. Now, for example, I enter the course as a C++, right? Now, even C++ means it is given error because input value is equal to C and C++. And what is that? Oracle like that. Means, what is the meaning of this is, see, here one condition is there. Okay, now suppose match 100 comma, see here, match 100 comma 200. Okay, so it's trying to compare. Now 100 is equal to 100, but 200 is not equal to what? 300. 100 is equal to 100, but 200 is not equal to 300. So here you are trying to compare with how many values? You are trying to compare with how many values? Two values are compared with how many values? Two values. But here, what we are doing? Here, what we are doing? We are trying to input how many values? One value, and one value cannot compare with three values. That is an error, right? That is a mistake. Okay. One value is compared with only one value. Three values are compared with the three values. But here I input how many values? Here I input how many values? One. No, no. I am trying to input how many values? One value. One value is compared with only one value. If I input three values, then it is compared with the three values. Then how can I do this? Can I write? How can I write this? Can I separate this with the? I'm trying to separate this with which operator? R operator. Now let us execute this with R. Is it allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Because R is allowed only in which statement? If statement. R is allowed only in which statement? if statement, but not in, yes, case. R is a logical operator, right? R is which operator here? Logical operator. Now I just try to run this, but even though it is given invalid syntax. But if you want to compare with multiple values, if you want to compare with multiple values, then you have to give the input as multiple or single value, multiple values. Then what I have to do is I have to change this. I have to change this to what? How many cases I have to write? It will become very bigger. Yes. If it is a C, then fees is this. If it is Java, I try to compare with one value only, because we are trying to input how many values? One value. Now, if it is a Python, I'm just writing the fees is 4,000. SQL Server is, yes. Input value is a C, and C fees is what? 2,000. Input value is Java. Java fees is this. And input value is a Python, and Python value is this. Input value is SQL Server. SQL Server is 1,000. Now I want to know what is the fees of .NET. Now this is course is not available, right? So one value is compared with only one value, but multiple values are compared with multiple values. But are you giving one value or multiple values? One value. If it is multiple values, then you can compare with first value with first value, second value with what? Second value. But here I try to input how many values here? Only one value, and you are trying to compare with how many values? One value only. Okay, multiple means we don't know collections, right? Once you go for collections, you also compare with what? Multiple values. But now you are comparing with how many values? Only one value. Yes. So based on the condition, if you want to execute the statements, based on the condition, if you want to execute the statements, you are trying to do this by using match and case. Okay, now this match case, which is introduced in Python 3.10, right? But I say now what you are learning, which version you are learning is Python 3.10. But 3.10 means in that you learn features of 3.8, 3.9, and including 3.10. But in 3.8, we have learned one operator. What is that? Walrus operator. Walrus operator is introduced in Python 3.8. Now match case is introduced in Python 3.10. So like this, whenever a concept come, I'll tell you this is a concept which is introduced in Python 3.8, 3.9, and 3.10, right? But there are some improvements which are done in 3.10. The error messages, what error messages what you'll get, that has been improved. For example, when you don't write, suppose if you write a space is nothing but, what is a space? Indent. What is a space here? Indent. Can you give unnecessary indent? Tell me, if you give unnecessary indent, generally when you give the indent, if you want to define the block, then only you define what? Indent. If a block, else a block. So for that you have to change what? Indent. But unnecessarily if you give a space, will it give error or not? Yes, it will give the error. If you see the error message, right? If you it is given error message called which one? Unexpected indent. Then immediately I have to remove this space and I have to start from the beginning or not? Yes. In the same way, I'm trying to say if true, and I'm trying to say print. Okay, print some Java is said. But here is it indent is required or not? Yes. Otherwise, is it this if is becomes empty or not? Yes. Is it empty block is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. If you want to write an empty block, you have to include one statement called pass. If you want to write an empty block, you have to include which statement? Pass statement. But are you included any statement here? No. Is it this print Java is within the if or outside the outside the if? This print Java is not a part of if, it is outside the if. Then if you run this, you'll get a error message saying that expected and intended block after if statement on line number 2. After if statement, you get which one indent is required. This is an error message. But if you see the same error, if you do same error in Python 3.9, I try to open Python 3.9. This is Python 3.9. I try to write the same program in 3.9. Same program. I'm writing in which version? 3.9 version. And just see the difference in getting error messages. Difference in getting error messages. If you run this, what is the error message? Expected and indented block. This is error message. Okay, where it is expected indented block, is it line number is displayed or not displayed? If I run in this Python 3.9, it is just given expected and indented block. But the same program, if I run in Python 3.10, what is the error message? Expected and indented block after if statement on line number 2. Means error messages, readability is what? Increase. Now there you cannot understand in which line number error is. But it is saying that expected and indented block after which statement? If statement on line number 2. But the same program, if I'm executing in Python 3.9, what is the error message? Expected and indented block. But is it shown where, in which line number, where error is? No. So improved error messages are done in what? Python 3.10. Means identifying error line number, where it is error description. I can easily debug, means where the error is and which line number error is, what is the error is, complete description is displayed. But when it comes to the Python 3.9, you don't get the complete description, like in which line number error is. And you cannot able to understand how to rectify that particular error. So improved error descriptions, that is one major change which is done in Python 3.10. That is one major change which is done in Python 3.10, right? Yes. But you try to see this error messages differences in Python 3.9 as well as 3.9 as well as 3.10. Now this is working with which statement? Conditional statements. After this conditional statements, now there is one more statement. After this conditional statement, you can also have one more type of statements, and that you can call it as which statements? Looping statements. Okay, looping statements. Now, these looping statements are very important if you are working with data structures and collections, right? See, all these are necessary. All these are necessary to write the logics. If you don't know these fundamentals like conditional statements and looping statements, you cannot build the logic. Like any algorithm, searching algorithm or sorting algorithm or any algorithm, if you want to develop it, you must have the knowledge of this conditional statements and what? Loop control statements. But tomorrow we'll be talking about how to work with this looping statements or loop control statements. Like what to work with the while loop and how to work with the for loop. How to work with the while loop statement and how to work with the for loop statements, right? And after completing the looping statements, we'll try to see data structures, that is collections, like working with the list, which is very important in application development. Without knowing data structures, you cannot work with any Python technologies. Without knowing the data structures, you cannot work with any Python technologies. Like you want to work with the Django or a Flask, you want to work with the data science. If you want to work with the Selenium testing tool, anything you want to work with it, you must know which one? Data structures. That is list, set, dictionaries and everything, right? Maybe after completing this looping statements, we'll start working with which one? collections, right? Today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue, right? So thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right?